I'm having a really tough day today. I have a bunch of things on my to-do list, my want-to-do list, my hopes and dreams of, hey, this is what I want to get done today because I'd feel really good if I got this done or if I spent some time doing this. And there are so many things that I want to do that I haven't been able to concentrate on really completing anything or digging into anything because my mind keeps going to other places and I'm getting overwhelmed with the amount of things that I do want to do or how I'm going to accomplish them. One of the things I've been thinking about is a video podcast. It's something I've wanted to put together for a while. I've slowly been, getting together some of the gear. It's not for this channel. It's for a family channel that I want to get going again, but I've been struggling with getting going. But anyway, part of getting that channel going was I'm going to do a video podcast. My family's been camping recently. We've been doing this camping thing, and I feel like we have a lot of interesting things to say that may be helpful to other people about campgrounds we've stayed at, different trips we've had, just the experience of getting a camper, beginning camping. So one of the things is I want to do a video podcast, and I'm just overwhelmed by just everything that seems to make it so difficult. This seems easy compared to that. This is turn on a camera, talk to the camera. That's it. Video podcast is like the audio, multiple cameras, a set, right? And then I'm like, am I making it too difficult for myself and then causing this overwhelm, which then causes me to not get started? And yes, that's exactly it. Like, why can't I just start small? I don't know. But then that transcends into other things that I want to get accomplished or finished or done. I feel like I get caught up in all the details sometimes that I don't take the steps I need to be taking to be doing the thing. And I think that's part of this chasing your someday. Sometimes it can be broader than that, right? That can actually get into our way in life. I'm talking about really calculated things, but if you start looking at bigger pictures in your life and things that you just can't seem to tackle, wow, like part of it, is this kind of stuff. Like the other thing I really want to do is I want to clean out my basement. Every time I go down there, it's just like, stuff from when the kids were younger and just stuff that needs to be donated, given away, sold at a garage sale, thrown away, whatever the case is, organized. It's driving me nuts. But every time I go down there and I do like a few little things and I look around and I'm just like, it's too much. It's too much. It's funny because one of the things last year I'd gotten into was trying to figure out how to be a minimalist, or like, not like one of those true crazy minimalists that just like have cardboard furniture or absolutely nothing, but how to minimize the things in my life. I really was moved by the people that had done that. And once you have 3 kids, it's just like, there's just this stuff that starts to just overtake you. One of the things this guy he wrote a few books and they're actually really good. And one of the things he says in one of the books was just about the organization economy, in the sense of the items people buy to organize their stuff, right? You always think it's like, I got to go out, I got to buy more bins, or I need to find a different method to organize this, or I need to pay for something to organize my stuff. And the reality is, it's just, no, you just need to downsize your stuff. If you're paying for things to organize your stuff, or like even storage units, right? If you have a storage unit for all your stuff, or you need a bigger storage unit, like, you got too much stuff. And that really resonated with me. Anyway, circling back to the basement. So it just becomes this like bigger thing. Like, I just can't tackle it. And some days I do better than others. I feel like I can be really in tune with what I need to get done some days. And I'm trying to think, like, why is that, right? Is it because I've written out a plan? Is it because I have something very clear that I want to do? And I think often it is. I think when I write something down and I have a calculated plan, I'm more able to conquer the steps in that plan to finish whatever it is, or put a dent in whatever it is. And I think today was one of those days where I was like, oh, I'm going to have time to do stuff. And there was just so many different things I wanted to do that I had trouble really nailing down what I was going to specifically really dig into. And now we're in the later afternoon and I'm not feeling like I did what I wanted to do. And that is a very frustrating feeling. And this is just one day out of my life, right? But then I just think of like regret and time and, you know, as it starts to build up, like what are the things like I haven't done that I've wanted to do that are on a larger scale? And then how today I had the time to do some things, because that's the other thing, like time. And I didn't get it done. Yeah, so this video is, I guess, about frustration, feeling that overwhelm and not feeling like I'm taking any steps forward. Feeling like I'm stepping, but just sort of dancing around in the same place and not going anywhere. And that's just not a good feeling. It's not the feeling I wanted to have. I wanted to have that feeling today where I was really productive. I did a bunch of things and felt really good about where I got to. Like, got that video podcast set up so that my wife and I could just sit down and record a podcast and feel successful, that I finally got over that hump of doing the first one, of getting it done. But yeah, I'm not going to be there. I can tell you that right now. I'm not going to be there. I mean, then nonetheless, when are we actually going to record the podcast? Because we have 3 kids that, you know, it's usually, I guess, once they go to bed, that's what we have to do. But that would be the next step, right? But the first step is me just getting it set up. What can I do for myself to make it easier? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But the one thing I did do today, so I'm going to give myself some grace, as I came and I sat in front of this camera and I recorded this video, because I think it's important to acknowledge that I'm human, that these are my struggles, and that I think I can figure out how to surpass them, how to get past this point. And part of that maybe was just talking about it with you. And do you have struggles like this? I know I'm not the only one. I know we all struggle with like doing things, getting things done, time getting away from us, overwhelmed to the point of just being stuck. Yeah, that's part of life. So whatever it is that you're trying to get done, I hope you figure out what's going to work for you. I really think it's writing it down for me and carving out the time, because like that method of like just having the steps and then crossing off the steps, there's something about that that's really helpful. I do that for work and it really helps me at work. So I'm starting to think like in my personal life, I need to really do that in my personal life. And it's not that I don't make lists for my personal life, but I don't know, maybe they're not as just calculated, especially for, you know, like I said, getting this video podcast going. Like, what are the steps I need? And maybe taking a step back and saying, what can I do differently? Yeah. So I am going to move forward today. There's something I can do. I know there's something I can do to feel like I've gone a few more steps. And as soon as I stop this video, I'm going to make myself a list and I'm going to do a few more things today, because the day is not over, and I will give myself grace. If I don't do those things today, now I will have a list that will hopefully help me. And that's a whole nother thing, writing things down. I've been on that kick recently too, in terms of goals, right? Have I written my goal down and made it, you know, a SMART goal and time bound as to when I'm going to get this video podcast out? I never did that. It's been this thing I've wanted to do. I didn't have like a set time for myself to do it by. And supposedly if you do set up like a set time and these set expectations and really have accountability out there for yourself, you're going to get it done. I didn't have that. So I need to take a step back here. I need to figure out what's going to get me ready to be successful with this endeavor. And I'm going to have you as my accountability, in that I will get my first video podcast done. Let's say within the next 30 days. That's fair. I think that's fair. And it's always about going, right? Once you do the first one and then you do the second and then you get started and you create that habit, it's there. But I don't have the first one yet. But I'm holding myself accountable. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. It's important to me. I've got this.